and welcome to day 4 of 7 days till Panto. One of the very interesting things about pantomime scenery is that we can have a cloth like this, which is a painted cloth. It's one of the solid ones, you can't see through it, but it's actually got a doorway in the middle. And if we look on the other side of the doorway, we can see what's actually happened is we've got a fabric cloth made out of canvas, but then with a wooden frame attached to the rear so we can mount a working door in it. So people can actually walk through what is in actual fact a soft wall. It's quite common in pantomime to have an array of painted scenery, typically on canvas like this one. And we can have them upstage, which is the furthest away from the audience, so they're actually a back cloth. Or we have them at the front, and they tend then either to be solid or the gauze type, so we can see through them. But this is typical of the sort of thing that we would have. This is an interesting shot, upstage, where we actually have candles. So we have lots of quite ornate candelabras. And of course they're all electric and they're all actually LED nowadays. But they're rather nice, and they sort of add a little bit of sort of tradition to the scene. Musical numbers often end with a bump on the end. A bump on the end is sort of a musical full stop, and the cast present themselves to the audience, and you'll have extended hands and a sort of look of satisfaction that the number's complete. It's quite a traditional way to finish songs in pantomime, and lights will happen on the bump, the sound will end with a bump. It's a really nice way to finish a scene. This is one of our front cloths, so this actually is one of the gauzes, and you can see how wonderful it looks once it's actually been lit. So it looks solid, but of course we all know by now it's not. It's actually a gauze, but it's just a wonderfully colourful way of presenting a scene. In the ballroom scene, you can see that the main parts of the set are actually black with silver trimming. So we've got legs at the side, they're the vertical parts that go up and down, and then borders or headers that go along the top. And then we've got, in this particular one, fibre optics for those lovely little pinprick lights. The lighting designers who work primarily for pantomime know it really well, and so it's quite common to have lots of magentas, pinks, deep blues, really saturated colours, and then lighter colours for the actual face lights and costume lights, so we can actually make people stand out from the background. Of course, with this one we actually have a prince and we have Cinderella, and they're lit in quite white light. In actual fact, it's usually not white, it's usually off-white, so it might have a little bit of blue in it or a little bit of pink in it, depending on what the scene is, and the rest of the set will be in saturated colours. In actual fact, the reality is that it's actually a bit brighter than this. So although in these photographs the backgrounds look quite dark, when you're there they're actually much brighter and still bluey coloured, but not as dark as these photographs make it look. LED lighting, of course, just doesn't respond very well to video cameras or stills cameras like this one. It's one of the sad parts about LED lighting. You have to be there to see it in its best. Anyway, that takes us to the end. We're going to carry on rehearsing tomorrow, so there should be another one then. Talk to you soon, look after yourselves, and take care.